So this video is basically just me recording the Hi, I'm Back podcast. A quick little podcast to let everybody know I'm back. I'm just videotaping this so you can see what the process is like. You can hear, for example, sometimes I stumble over words when I'm recording, reading off the script, I get it wrong. What I'll do, and maybe I'll do this today, I'll pause and I'll say the sentence again. Maybe I'll back up a little bit. Later, when you hear the podcast, you won't hear anything different. You'll hear just like me cutting straight to, from one word to the next as if I said it perfectly. Maybe I won't stumble over words today, but we'll see. I'm doing it today with a short podcast just so you can kind of have a behind-the-scenes look. I'm using the computer. I'm using Apple Logic to record into. This microphone I've got set up on a floor stand, so if I hit the table, you don't hear these loud thump, thump, thump sounds that sometimes you'll hear on a microphone that's sitting on the table. All right, I'm just going to put my headphones on so I can monitor what I'm saying, and then I'm going to switch over to my script. I'm going to hit record, switch over to my script. Yeah, everything I do is scripted, even hi, how are you doing? So, and then I'll record, and we'll see how that turns out, and I'll post that on Fly With Me. Hitting record. First thing I got to do is get the right frame of mind. Step one. Hey folks, Joe Dion here. It's been a while. I took a longer break than I expected. And I'm just posting this short podcast to announce that I'm going to start back up. Some of you following me on Twitter already know this. And for the rest of you, if you want to keep up with my progress, you can find me on Twitter. I use Joe_Dion, no apostrophe, as my Twitter name. I'll put a link in the show notes. By the way, you don't have to be on Twitter to see my posts there. Just go to twitter.com/Joe_Dion and you'll see them. I'll be posting some interesting stuff that doesn't make it into the podcast. Like, for example, a video of me recording this. Like I said, there'll be a link at flywithjoe.com. So, even though I haven't been podcasting, I still do carry my recorder with me, and I've gotten a few stories on the road. I haven't been really aggressive about getting stories. I don't really like to be pushy, so I don't go and say, hey, anybody got a story? But sometimes I'll get talking to somebody, a good story will pop up. I'll ask if they mind if I can get it on tape, and sometimes they say yes. So I've got some stuff on tape. I haven't even gotten around to listening to all of this stuff yet, so I don't even know what I have to work with. But I know there's some good stuff. For example, just earlier today I was listening to one. There was this pilot I rode in the crew van with. He was a really good storyteller. And so he told some good airline lore, and I got it on tape. He didn't want to give me his name. I'm not sure I even remember who he was. This is not journalism. It's a podcast, so we can do that kind of stuff. Here, I'll play it. Here's a clip. So I give myself a little pause here. I'll use the rest of that clip in a future podcast. Also, I recently flew with best-selling author Buzz Patterson. He's a pilot and an author. He's got 2 books on the New York Times best-selling list. You might want to check him out. I put a link in the Twitter stream. He's very conservative, and I don't agree with him in all his politics, but we really got along well together. He's very conservative, and I don't agree with all of his politics, but we really got along well together. I have an interview with him, and that'll be the subject of my next podcast. So for now, I have a trip to fly, and when I get back, I'll finish that podcast up and I'll post it. But for now, check out flywithjoe.com. If you haven't heard my radio work for NPR before, there's links there. Let your friends know I'm back, and check me out on Twitter. I'm Joe Dion. Come fly with me. Okay, I've stopped recording into Logic. As you heard there, I stumbled over a few things. It's been a while since I've done any podcasting. And when you hear the actual podcast on the internet, you won't hear any of those stumbles. You listen for them. It's amazing what you can do in audio. Audio is not an honest medium. All right. Hopefully, I'll get this one posted, and another one right after that, maybe next week. Hopefully. All right. Talk to you later.